Good morning, magical ones. Welcome to the podcast. I'm the Fairy Witch, and welcome. And today we're talking about something that I use in my magical practice regularly, and it's something that you can do if you're not already, and it's simply keeping a fairy journal. Fairy journals are really a wonderful tool, and they're a wonderful resource, and it's a great way for you to start, recording your spells, your meditations, your encounters with the fairies, your research, that kind of thing. Um, so It's a wonderful resource for anybody at any age. You can start one at any time. Journals are readily available in the stores, so you can purchase one. You can buy, a smaller one. You could buy a soft cover, hard cover. You can lined, blank pages, whatever you want to do. Kind of, if you're going to buy a journal and never have before, as far as for whatever you're doing, um, kind of think about your practice, or kind of think about how much and what research you want to do, because that'll help you decide what size and what type of journal to buy. So, like, if you're just going to do poems and meditations and encounters, well, then maybe you just want a smaller journal. You might want it lined, that sort of thing. For me, what I do is, because, I am an artist, I'm a knitter, I'm a painter, I do all sorts of different forms, is I use sketchbooks. So this is my very first one that I started back in 2016 when I started working with fairyology, before I started studying fairyology and the magic. So this is a hardbound sketchbook, and it's rather large. But what I do is it's a sketchbook, so it's blank pages. So I can do collage in here. I can do sketching. I can do painting. I post photographs of my own artwork. But generally, when I started out, it's a place where I write down like journal entries of what I did during the day that was magically or fairy inclined. I might put in, articles from things. There's clippings from fairy magazines over the years I used to get. But also too, there's poems from myself, and maybe a poem from someone else that I liked that I want to save. I do some of my original artwork in here. A lot of it is my research, though, my studying. So when I read a book, I want to take down notes, but I don't want to highlight in the book. I don't want to pencil mark in the book. So, it takes longer to get through a book doing that, but it's just like when you're in school. You're going to write down your notes from your textbooks. So that's what I do. And, the sketchbook allows me to do all of that in one book. So if I work on it regularly, and I mean like, every couple of days, maybe, once a week, this kind of sketchbook can last me about a year, maybe. These guys, the first couple that I did, they actually got filled up really quickly because I was just starting my research. I was just doing artwork. I was starting to, do a bunch of different things. I was reading a lot, so I was doing a lot of note taking. I would write book reviews down, like when I read a novel, a fairy novel, and I want to remember it, and so I will write a book review in it, so I remember later. And once you get these books done, then you can go back and read them anytime you want, like a textbook. And you read them again and go, oh yeah, I remember when I did that, or oh yeah, I read that book. That was good. I want to read it again. Or you just want to get some notes, and it's like, I know I read that book. I need to see what I wrote down. That kind of thing. So again, it's a great place, and You can post stuff, you know, you can, clippings and all this kind of thing. So, catalog pictures and pages. So I use the sketchbook a lot. And like I say, it's just, I can do all of these things within a blank book. Now, if I wanted to have lined pages, I can use a notebook piece of paper and just glue it in. Or I could just, pick a blank page and use a ruler and draw them in. So, getting a blank sketchbook is actually very versatile for me because I can do all of those elements. I can do all that in the one book. But if you're not into the art stuff, if you're not going to do that, or maybe you just want a journal for a journal, to write down your thoughts and walk it, write down your daily events that's related to being with the fairies or talking to them or studying about them. You might just want, the 5 by 7 or 7 by 9 inch lined journal, and that's up to you. And some people know how to make their own journals, so you could make one, and really make it personalized and decorate it and that sort of thing. That's cool too. Do it. So, I mean, journals are, great, great resource. They become a very good resource for you because, like I say, you can start doing all sorts of uh, recordings, and you write down what you were talking about that day, anything you read, like plans, things that you would like to do out in the garden, that kind of stuff. So, you know, coloring book page, you want to save it, you just do your page and glue it in, you know. So, yeah. So, fairy journals are a great resource. They're a great project. And like I say, any age. So, when I was really young, my mom started me on a journal. And I've been doing journaling and diaries all my life. And she was just like, this is your summer journal. Every day we're going to do, you're going to write down what we did for the day, and what you thought of what we did during the day. And that was it. She just made me do journal entries every day as part of my summer education, while you're off school. She still made me do stuff. But I have to be grateful to her for getting me started on diaries and journals because I do enjoy keeping them, And I have another one that is my art journal, and that's more of my personal one. I do talk a little bit about my own practice, but it's mostly, my personal stuff from during the day, more of other things that I won't be discussing here, and other things that may not be as magic, excuse me, magically influenced as it is in the fairy journal. So again, you have them separated, and that works. I like doing that. That way I have one personal, and then I have this one. So this is my current one, and this is book 5. So I've had 5 journals since 2016, and this is 2024. I've actually slowed down a bit this year, so technically I should be coming to the end of the journal. It should be pretty full, but in this one I'm only that far. I still got all of this to work with. So yeah, I've not been working on it as readily, as steadily as I used to. I need to. I need to get back into doing it. So I've just been distracted by a lot of other things. And when you're tired, when you're stressed, it's not always the time I want to work on it. But again, it's a great project. So you can start your children doing this. You can start doing this at any age. It's a great present to give somebody at any age, even seniors. They can start a journal and just write about their life. And for seniors, for the older generation, and I'm getting there, so I'm not throwing stones. I'm just saying that higher level of age, they could start a journal, and it would be kind of cool because, in a way, that person is leaving important notes, important information, um, important facts about the family, maybe. And so that younger generations will maybe read it if you leave it to them, and they can learn more about their family, maybe stuff they didn't know, stories they'd never heard, that kind of thing. So, I mean, it's a great project to buy somebody as a present, and you go, what do I get this person? Buy them a diary, buy them a journal, you know, encourage them to use it. They don't have to show it to anybody if they don't want to, but then again, they can, leave it for the family when they pass on. Or, at our age or children's age, you can go back and use it as a source. Or, for kids, it might be funny when they find it when they're adult. You can give it back to them, whatever, in a box and say, look at here's all your old diaries and journals. They could read through and remember stuff they didn't remember doing. It's kind of like walking down memory lane. So journals have a practical purpose. They have it's a need for all of us to record, to say we were here, we did this. And so again, for, a fairy and art journal, same thing. You're just, recording anything you want. So for me, like I say, it's part of my practice. I do the artwork, I do the collage, um, I might sketch out a plan for my holiday decorations little display if I'm going to be able to do one, or, party plan if I'm able to do one. Other times it might be just a plan for the fairy garden. Oh, I want to move this, I want to change that, but let me sketch it out first and kind of see if that's going to work before I do all that manual labor. That kind of thing. And so, like I say, an unlined blank page journal sketchbook is the best thing for me. So that's what I use. And that's part of my practice. I just need to do it more often, but it's part of my practice. And I can write down my spells and poems and little meditations and things like that. It's a way to connect to the fairies as well, because they might read it while you're writing it. They could be sitting on your shoulder, you don't know it, and they could be reading it, so you could actually write little notes to them in it, little journals, little letters to them in here, and they might read it. So, I mean, you can have fun with this, and it's a great project. It's something that becomes important, it becomes part of your life, and it helps you connect to the fairies, and it helps you learn about your magic, and it gives you, a source book to go back to. And, it's just a way to walk down memory lane. Like I say, I can read, I need to go back and read some of these because, it's been a while. And I might remember, oh, yeah, that's when I read that, or that's when I wrote that poem, or, oh, I saw that movie for the first time, that fairy movie, and I really liked it. This kind of thing. So it's a great project. So don't be afraid to start a fairy journal and, enjoy it, have some fun with it. It can be a project for the whole family to do. You could all get in and do a page at a time. You can, have your children start it and work on one with you, that kind of thing. So again, it's important. It's a great project. And like I say, it helps me because then I can record all of that. I have one place to go to, and I write down my fairy recipes, and a lot of it is diary entry, but it might be the drawings, it might be paintings. I can do collage, which I often do in there, or multimedia pieces, that kind of thing. Excuse me. It's just a really good resource. So again, if you're just starting out your magical practice, or you're just starting out your studying with fairyology, get a sketchbook or a journal and start, and then hang on to it. Okay? So if you know you're really going to get into this, buy maybe a couple of different types of journals. That way you can decide, or maybe, okay, I'm going to work on this one, and then as you get to the end of that one, you're like, you know what, I'm going to switch it up. maybe I will do a sketchbook and do the art journal and, that kind of thing. You can do different each time. You don't have to use the same journal every time. Some people prefer it. If you don't want to, that's cool too. I don't, except I do use the sketchbooks. Some of them are the thick ones, some of them are a little bit thinner. Just whatever I can get. But generally I go for, this size because I do want to do the artwork and I do want to get as many notes as I can. So, yeah. So, I definitely, as you can see, recommend doing journaling or sketchbooking or art journaling. You can have so much fun. And if you're like a person who can collect a lot of odds and ends or go to the dollar store and buy a bunch of different papers and stickers and little things you can get, or go onto a website where you can get a lot of bulk for less, that kind of thing. You could buy little charms and little wooden pieces that you can glue on, or jewelry or beads. Go to the craft stores, go to Walmart, go to these websites, and you order a bunch of different things, and then keep it in a box and or bag or whatever. And then that way, when you're ready to do your journaling and you want to do your art, you can just grab it and pull out whatever you want. I do that. I keep a box of stuff. It's a bunch of, um, advertisement pages, catalogs, um, advertisements, maybe old magazines, um, just pull-outs from different books, maybe a book cover from something, um, and then I've got another little box that's got ribbons and stickers and other little papers and little note cards and um, buttons and string and yarn and, just a bunch of odds and ends. And then that way, when I want to do a picture or I want to do a page, unless I want to do an art page, then I can just pull that out and go through. Excuse me. And then and then make your art page out of it by using all those little things. So, I mean, yeah, you can do this really elaborately. You can keep it fairly simple. Whatever, it's okay. Do what you want. Do what you feel, just as long as you're connecting to the fairies and you're working with your magic. And by thinking about them, writing about them, and infusing that in your writing as you write, you are adding that intention. You are adding that connection, and you are talking to them. Even if you aren't physically, you are talking to them. You are reaching out to them. You are showing gratitude that they're there, that kind of thing, that they're inspiring you to do this. That's all a good way to connect with them. That's all a good way to communicate with them safely, and just to still make your point. So again, I hope that find this interesting. I hope you found that this is something you can do or want to do. And again, it all relates to your magical practice. It all relates to reaching out to the fairies. So don't be afraid to. Get out there, grab yourself a journal of any type, any size, and start writing. Just say, I went out into the garden and I sat there for a few minutes and I really want to learn about the fairies. I really want to talk to them. And, just start. And once you start writing, it's going to start flowing. You're going to feel good. It's going to get out some of your, whatever issue you might be experiencing. It's going to help you focus. It might inspire you. Oh yeah, I mean to work on this project, or, oh, I'm thinking about that and I'm looking at that. I'm going to get out there and plant that tree, or plant that rose, or start an herb garden, whatever, and it gets addictive. You're going to like doing it. And that's the point. You want to enjoy doing it. Don't look at it as a chore. Don't look at it as, oh, I've gotta, look at it as this is a way to do my magical and fairy practice, and it doesn't take long. It gives me a chance to focus, gives me a minute to kind of decompress from whatever else is going on in the house that day, and it helps me to focus and open that connection. And that way you'll feel better. You'll have maybe get a few things off your chest so you feel calmer. Um, and you'll feel like, okay, I actually felt the fairy with me, this kind of thing. Or, you know what, I feel a little rejuvenated. I'm going to go make that candle, or I'm going to make that herb jar, or I'm going to go do that spell. It's a motivator, simple. It's funny that you'd think, having a journal would do that, but it does. So, again, great project. Anybody can do it. Just enjoy it. Get out there and get one. And you can make it as elaborate as you want, simple as you want. They're easy to take with you, so you can go when you go on trips. You take your journal with you. If you're going to go to a park, or you're going to go someplace where maybe you're like, well, I might have some time to myself, or maybe it'll keep me awake. Take your journal. Just have a pen on you all the time, or a pencil. Take your journal and go. Take it. So it's a good little companion for you on your travels. Good for car trips, that kind of thing. Bus trips, if you're going to be going on the bus for a while, it's a good way. That kind of thing. So enjoy it, and I hope that this inspires you. I hope that this will help you, start this or get back to journaling, or, focus more on it. And hopefully it will help you connect to the fairies more. You'll feel better. It'll give you a chance to relax, kind of meditate, and get some creative juices going for whatever you want to do, and also help you get your studies. Start working on your studies again, whether it's for magic or fairyology or both. Either way, just enjoy it. So get out there, enjoy your journals, get your family started on a journal, and you'll never stop, and it'll be a great project. So I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you want to. Like the video if you liked it. And if you'd like to donate to us, that would be fabulous. I really would appreciate it. There is a PayPal link listed on this channel right below the channel name. So I think it's in like blue writing. It's PayPal. So just click on that, or you can cut and paste it into your search bar, and it will take you there. Either way, and just if you're going to donate some money, that would be so wonderful. I'd really appreciate it, since I have no income at the moment. That would really help us stay alive and be able to make videos and have supplies so I can make more videos. And just add a little note on there that it's a donation, and that would be so terrific, and I'd really appreciate it. So have a fairy day. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Have a good time. Enjoy your fairy journaling. Bye.